do you take into account then what the people might think, especially now with the kind of the second chapter?
Well, you see that's the sticky point, because you can't. If you do that, you're second and third guessing everything that you do, you know, and that's not a natural way to be. I have somewhere off to the side or in the back, there's a definite. I get the idea certain times that I know what they really don't want to hear. You know, we're not going to throw an album at them that's just going to completely. It wouldn't make any sense to baffle people. You know, what would be the point? You know,
for the sake of it, just for the sake
of it. You know, for your own amusement. You can make that record if you want, but you don't have to release it.
Well, interesting that you say this, because Bright Night Flowers is an album that you haven't released, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I felt no need. I still feel no need.
So, but this might sound a bit weird, but is it a very I don't want to say selfish, but is it focused on yourself, that this whole creativity or artistry, if you want to call it that?
If it is, it's only at the very beginning. Okay. Like I said, that's why when you asked how you know a song is something that works, in the first instance, it's just if you react to it. So if that's selfish, then yeah, that must be what that is. But it would be completely selfish to make a record that the people who come to see you don't want, and well, it makes no sense to do that. So that's why I have no problem recording things and then not just keeping them, you know.
And have you listened to that album recently?
I did.
What do you hear?
I hear all the bits I would want to change.
Okay.
And I hear the bits that I like, and I like about half of it. But at that time, that really was a record just made for its own sake. And it was a bit of a reaction to, I had made a record under my own name that some of it's good and some of it isn't, and the some of it that isn't is because I really felt like I should try and cater to the record label that was paying for it, and management, and the people who might buy it, and it's the last time I did that sort of thing because it doesn't work. So that I went straight into the studio after that, and just to make something that I wanted, that I would like. That's why I don't feel any great need to push it on people. I made it to like it, you know.
And do you have that a similar attitude now with the album that you have released? Do you still hear things that you would have liked to change?
It happens less and less and less. One of the good things about making this record was kind of handing control over to a producer who made it. We really handed a lot over to him. And it was a lot of fun working that way. Because of that, I'd sort of have no history with it. I have no line where I can chart back and say I was trying to do this, but I failed here. I don't have that. You know, there was no trying to make this. It was just, let's just record. Here's the songs we have, let's record them, and then you can take them and do what you want with them, and he did. Because of that, I don't find much of it that I would want to change.
Was that an easy thing to do, to allow somebody else to come in?
It was completely the easiest thing in the world. I would never have thought it would be that easy. He picked the songs we would record. He chose the songs that would make the album afterwards. He chose the running order. And he did a great job, and it was the easiest record we've ever made.
Okay.
I hope we can make every other record like that.
And then we're speaking, of course, of Tony Hoffer. You've worked with him in the past on multiple occasions. What makes you work with him so well?
He has everything. I can't say that we don't have, but I can say that I don't have. He has everything that I'm not. He absolutely adores music in a way that I don't.
Okay.
I can get enough. I can just about react enough to do what we do, and that's enough for me. He is reacting every minute of every day to all kinds of stuff, and I don't have that. So he brings all the stuff that I don't bring, and he's constantly inventive, and he never seems to get tired either, which is weird. And he likes what we do. That's not something to underestimate. He likes us. So he's only going to try to make a record that he would want to hear from us, you know. For that reason, he's kind of perfect for us.
And well, I find it interesting what you say about how you do you listen to a lot of music while writing or while in the recording studio?
I really don't listen to music at all.
Really?
It's been a recent development.
Okay.
Maybe the last year and a half. It's not to say I don't ever put it on, but
Sure.
It is so rare for me now to put music on. It might come back, but I'm okay with it. I have no problem with it.
Was there something that kind of started this, or was it just
I enjoy peace now more than I enjoy noise. But the odd time when I do put music on, because I don't put it on often, I really enjoy listening to it.
What's the last thing you put on?
Well, because of I still don't want to put anything particularly loud on, so I put Leonard Cohen on a lot. And recently, that's the only thing that I'll put on.
Okay. And well, in the beginning you said Michael Jackson was the only thing the band agrees on.
Yeah.
Which one is Leonard Cohen one you will fight for?
I wouldn't have thought so. I can't imagine Barry and Vince liking him very much, but that's fine because I can see why he would turn people off, you know, if they didn't like that sort of thing. It's interesting to me. It's interesting that you can spend a lifetime utterly drenched and saturated in music, and then all of a sudden one day it stops, and you have no desire to switch it on anymore.
And so has your approach to playing live then changed as well?
Well, that's where I hear my music now. It's kind of at the moment the only place I regularly hear music is when we play it, and it's made our gigs far more interesting to me.
What have you discovered? Because I see you play new songs. What's one thing you've discovered about one of the new songs by hearing it just in this setting?
Well, it's always a bit wordless. It's always a bit. It's never something that can be explained afterwards, and they're the best reactions. You know, the ones where all of a sudden something makes perfect sense, but then it disappears just as quickly. It's that sort of reaction. It's not something I notice and then can put into words. It's more just, well, this is quite good fun, you know.
And finally, then the album is called Eyes Wide, Tongue Tied. It's from a song on the deluxe version.
Yeah.
How come that song didn't make the record?
We recorded it for the record, and then it was more than good enough to be on there. Sometimes though, there's some songs that obviously have to go on. They speak for themselves, and once you put those on, and then you've got the other ones that to choose between. I mean, we had about 8 very obvious songs, which left 3 spaces, with 7 songs to fit 3 spaces. And when you've already got the 8 that are definites, they have a certain style. And you're just, the 3 that are left, you're just trying to fit those in so that they make sense next to those other 8. And because of that, that song didn't make it, but it easily could have.
What made the line for you good enough to be the album title?
With us, when we pick album titles and when we pick artwork and that sort of thing, we tend to, we go with the first idea that we all agree on, because in the past we've gone endlessly around different ideas. I like this one, but you don't like that one. Now, the first piece of artwork that we see that we all say, that one's okay, we go with that. We don't even have to think it's great, just that's okay. And it's same with the first name, you know. And when I'm looking for album titles, the first place I go to is lyrics, and I pick them out from lyrics. Why that one? No idea.
And then finally then, about mentioning the lyrics, what role do lyrics play for you?
They're slightly more important than they used to be. There are certain lyrics that you write and then 5-6 years later you don't know how to sing them. You know, there's songs that we won't play because from our first record, because I just don't know how to sing them and to make them believable. We always dealt in nonsense. I used to like dealing in nonsense, and I still do. It's a different kind of nonsense. So some of them just are unsingable after a certain amount of time. Now, you know, you write what you feel is something that you could be convincing with. I only really write lyrics now that I feel that I can go on a stage and sing to people, you know. But I guess that must change all the time. I'm interested in the way words, I'm interested in the imagery that they bring up, rather than that they need to have any great meaning. You know, you can search for meaning endlessly and never find it. You know?
But so if we take the song Thief, is that about a real person?
No, that's just utter nonsense. Okay. There is some songs that are just still nonsense, and there are some that have some degree of truth to them, but Thief has no truth.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.